Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out Rise Above TV, where we are empowering humanity and supporting unity. You're watching P3 Power, Passion, Purpose. This is about showcasing people who have tapped into their power, passion, purpose. What do those words mean to them? How do they interconnect? What does it feel like to live from this space? And, how do you take care of yourself? Because it takes a lot of work to get to that place. And then to maintain it is like a whole nother thing. I'm your host, Janie Terrazas, and my guest today is the wonderful, fabulous Laura Wall. She is an empowerment coach. She helps with your overall well-being, and she's just a delight to be around. She's very childlike, like me too, and playful. So that's why I love her so much. And she's very, very smart. So she has some great wisdom to share with us today. So I honor you greatly, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Janie. I am so honored to be here and to be your guest. And as always, I enjoy our conversations. So I feel like this is just going to be a conversation that we'll be sharing with others, and hopefully it will help inspire them or enlighten them or give them a little nudge if they're thinking about they want to make some sort of change in this big, beautiful new decade we have upon us.
Tell us a little bit about where you get your power, what power means for you, and how some of this passion behind you obviously comes through, and what that's all about for you, passion and purpose.
Yeah, I was thinking about this as this morning, and I realized that my power actually came out of pain.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about people shedding things and going through transitions and being in those rough, treacherous spots where they can't believe that anything's ever going to get better. And that's really where I started to dial into the power that I had within me, that resided within me. I was in a very rough, dark spot. I wanted to just leave my business, leave my town, leave my husband. I just wanted to run away, and I did. And it was really once I kind of cleared out all of that clutter, and there's so much mind chatter. As we know, we both are purveyors of mindfulness, and it took a couple of days for that mind chatter to kind of quiet down a little bit, for me to finally start tapping into and hearing that inner voice. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's where my power comes from. It's not, when I go to the gym and I pick up some weights, yeah, that creates some power. When I listen to a great song and I dance around, sure, that creates some energy. When I paint paintings or do photography, absolutely, that brings to life something that feels powerful to me. But really, it's that stopping and dialing in and being still, because to me, my power is in those quiet moments where I'm tapping into something so much bigger than me.
I know that's a big part of your day-to-day food source is to feed your spirit. So talk a little bit about how your spirituality and that connection you're talking about is what gives you that power that you need, and everything else to do all the awesome things you do.
Yeah, that to me is absolutely foundational. If I don't get that time away from everything before the day starts. So I have broken myself of the habit of reaching for my phone first thing in the morning. It's taken a while, but that's not the first thing that I reach for anymore. Right. And I usually enter into my morning in silence. And this was a beautiful practice that I enjoyed when I was on a retreat in Costa Rica. And so I brought it into my home. So my first hour is just in silence. And so I don't turn lights on. I just use the natural light coming in from the windows. I get my cup of coffee. I get nestled down on the couch and I meditate. So before I go out in the world, before I receive any messages from the world, before I connect with anybody else, I connect deep inside myself to my higher power, which I call the divine.
Yes,
and I think, when you love something a lot, whether it's a boyfriend or a dog or whatever, you end up with there might be the official name, and then there's always pet names. Yes. And that's kind of how I think about naming our power source, because I've named it. I've named it and called it, and I know what that looks like for me. So when I connect there, that's when I can just sit and listen meditate. Sometimes I do visualization, but that's always when the big ideas drop in. And I'm always blown away by what shows up, because I think, this big, and the universe has 100 bazillion possibilities. So it seems silly to me now that I used to try to externalize everything. I used to try to, go out and push and make things happen outside of myself without pulling that power into myself and listening to who I really am from that source again. Because that source is, mother, father, brother, sister, best friend. It tells you all the good stuff about you. It gives you those affirmations that you really need to remember. And that's, for me, a big part of my morning, is remembering who I am, what I'm here to do, and then, asking for help.
Yes.
Like I don't have the energy today to go do A, B, and C. Bring it into me, and then watching how beautifully that shows up, whether that's somebody brings me an extra cup of coffee, or my favorite song comes on the radio spontaneously. It always shows up.
And that has a lot to do with you being really present. And so when you are receiving that information, that takes a while to build trust, right, with that voice. And
Absolutely.
and it takes practice getting still. What are some of, well, first of all, I think it's beautiful that you have that morning ritual, because you are accessing and dialing in and tapping into the bigger part of yourself. And then it's fueling you in a lot of different ways. How long did that take you, would you say, to get to that space and place? And what were some of the things that led to you becoming more disciplined in your self-care morning ritual?
So I am, like you said, I'm a little kid inside. And as I've gone through this process of self-discovery, I have found that if I ask myself questions like the word how can I make this more routine? Again, answers come to me.
Right.
And I think back to what my mom used to do when I was homeschooled, when I was 4 until I was 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the thing that my mom used to do was she would always set a timer, and then you would always get a reward. So that's one of the things I encourage people to do when they're trying to start a new habit, whether it's meditation or whether it's just stretching.
Right.
When there's a limit, when it doesn't, when time is the limit, as opposed to, am I supposed to see a thing, or am I supposed to do a thing? Like, if you have that, it kind of helps your mind get accustomed to this new thing, and then rewarding, whether that's, you get a second cup of coffee, or whether you get to finally dance to your favorite song, or, maybe it's some other bigger reward, after you've practiced enough. Those are two things that I do. So part of my reward in the morning is I do meditation first. And when I'm done with meditation, that's when I have my first cup of coffee, because I love coffee.
I know you do.
Butter in it, and it's so yummy. And so again, eventually the thing that you're doing becomes as enjoyable as the reward itself, is what I've found.
That's beautiful. I know that you're obviously living all the things that you love. Like, you're so passionate about the work that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you discover your passion for the work that you're now currently doing?
It's been a slow process. We all want growth overnight and change overnight. And so I would say it's been over the past several years that I kind of feel like I've been like a hummingbird. I've just been fluttering to different flowers in different parts of the world and different things, because when I'm attracted to something, I usually dive deep into it for a while, and then I check to see if it fits. And then if it doesn't, then I'm tweaking and adjusting. So I've been a personal trainer, and then I realized I couldn't just coach bodies. Like, that's silly. You can't just change a body by going to the gym once a week. We need some nutrition. So I became a certified nutrition coach. And then as I started coaching that, I realized we're not really talking about food. We're talking about the mind and mindfulness. And so, a human is not just a physical body, nor are they a stomach and a brain. I started to realize as I talked to people about why they weren't able to make it to the gym or make the change in their nutrition, it was more about their heart. It was about their relationships. It was about their lifestyle. It was about things that they were struggling with internally. So
Right.
that's when I started to see the next couple of layers of people, which are the heart and the spirit. So I started moving into some other different trainings to be able to support that. And as I've kind of looked at, where does my passion lie? Like, who are my people? Who are my people that it really, really pisses me off that I don't see them getting help? And I have to say, it goes back to the person I was in my last business. I am talking to that gal who has a new business, and
Mm-hmm.
she is trying her damnedest to be perfect at everything, posting at the right time, looking incredibly great all the time, networking all the time, people pleasing. It's all the P's: people pleasing, pushing, producing, and it's
Right.
exhausting, so exhausting. And what makes me angry about that is not the people themselves. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they are trapped in a machine. So the thing that angers me is the slavery, the
Mm.
the bonds of mindset that are that are trapping them.
Yeah.
And
And
many
like,
of them, I don't feel like any of it's their fault. It's just their path. This is how they've come to be where they are. But
right.
they've been, it's through society, it's through familial, it's through education. There's so many things that we as women have been told to be or not be, that
Yeah.
we're carrying around. And if you put a name tag on you when you go to a networking function, that's cool. But if you put 20 name tags on you, that confuses everybody, and you too. And if you put 1,000 of those on you, all these different labels of who you're supposed to be, you'd be confused, they'd be confused, not to mention the weight of it. And
Absolutely.
so I just see people
Yes.
struggling within themselves to try to find their identity, or trying to be something else. And just, I know those bonds. I know the depression, the lightweight depression that it causes from time to time,
Yes.
and the doubt, the serious self-doubt. Am I doing the right thing? So yeah, I get very passionate when I see women who are new to business. They might be younger than me chronologically, or they might just
Mm-hmm.
be newer in business, but I
Right.
just see them struggling on the inside, and I can tell that they have this weight, and I would like to just show them they have the key. They have the key to the chains.
You have,
Let me
you
show you.
have,
I have a
yes.
magic flashlight. I'll show you where the key is.
So obviously you are living your purpose. So tell us what it feels like to live with so much meaning and so much purpose.
Well, at days it's super exciting because it feels true. I finally feel like I am my real self, and my real self keeps coming out and evolving. I keep getting to see new layers. I keep, keep getting to learn new things about myself,
Yes.
and I get to learn and grow. And the coaching process, a lot of people think it's someone that's this guru that knows everything, and that I just give them all the answers and off they go and their life is fixed. And I think of myself more like a guide or a teacher, where I'm not there to give them the answers. I'm there to ask them questions so
Right.
that they're seeking the answers within themselves. So at the very best, I feel super excited, but at times I am just like my client. I'm wondering, how do I reach more people?
Right.
What do I need to do more of? And then I have to remind myself that more is not always the point. The point is the relationship that's in front of you, because
Mm-hmm.
we will never, ever know the full impact of our words, of our behaviors, of our actions. You cut someone off in traffic, you may not know that that made them cry and swerve off the highway and pull over and shake, right?
Right.
Now, on the flip side, when we're doing good things in the world, if I'm able to impact the life of a client, and that seems like it's just one person,
But
however, their life is changed, and then they're affecting all the relationships, their partners, their vendors, their clients, their children, their family. It's bigger than we think. So I am not worried about having 10,000 followers on Instagram, or being on the biggest stage, or, if Tony Robbins has me on his speed dial or anything. My biggest pleasure, my greatest takeaway is that one meaningful interaction where you know that you made a difference. You
Yeah.
know that that somebody has changed on their own, of their own volition, and that you were more like a catalyst,
Yes.
and a witness.
To
Yeah,
witness the shift and to know you
absolutely.
had like a hand in it,
Yeah.
and I really, that's what we're here to do, is like, how can we be of service to one another? We need to understand how to be of service to self,
Absolutely.
which is that self-care and creating healthy boundaries and all the beautiful things that you help your clients with as they
Hmm.
as they evolve. I also love that you recognize that even though you're a teacher and a guide, that you're also a student of life, and that you're always learning from your clients too, and how to
Oh
become a
yeah,
better coach. And so I really, that's like a lot of
that's so
humility.
it's
Yes.
fantastic. And again, like I said, there's a lot of coaches out there that think they've already got it all down, so they're going to
No.
teach you.
Oh,
And I walk in thinking I have some great tools and I'm
yeah.
going to use them.
Yeah.
But again, I go back to the original, the power.
Yes.
There's three people in that coaching relationship, not even people. There's
Right.
me, another person, and another force. And it's
Exactly.
that force that helps make the change and meld things and bring things to light. And so I love that, being that witness, because I absolutely learn from all of my clients.
Yes.
And
You're
that's delightful. Like I said, to see their own evolution, to see them grow into the potential I knew was possible for them.
right.
But also sometimes, spirit divine shows up and throws a little tweak in there, or a little extra sprinkle of glitter, and something more amazing happened than you thought could
Absolutely.
happen.
Absolutely. I think it's really great that you also open your heart's so open. You guys, you have to go check out her website, larawall.us. You can also find her on Instagram. She has an awesome blog. There's a whole story behind Daily Hearts, which I don't know if you still sell them or not. I hope that
I
you do.
do. I do. The Daily Heart deck is still alive and well. If people are looking for me and they can't remember anything, if they'll just look under the hashtag Daily Heart, and I'm usually posting something there about the hearts that I'm seeing come up spontaneously in my life. And
Yeah.
on occasion, I'll pull a Daily Heart card, and I will share it with Instagram world.
Yes, it's so great. There's like little mantras, and a little
Mhm.
question to ask yourself, and they're so colorful. It's like every color you can imagine, and
Like all of this.
yes, all of this. And thank you. You bring so much color into the world, and
Oh,
you're
thank
helping people breathe life into their life so that they
you.
can come more alive and live more authentically. So thank you for that. Please, what would you like to say as we close this first episode of P3? I'm so honored to have you as our first guest.
Oh, well, I'm very honored to have been your first guest. I just want to remind people that no matter where they're at, there is always hope. There's always hope for change. And all you need is just one. You just need one idea. You just need one more day. You just need one person to speak life into you. You just need one. Just give yourself a little bit more time before you absolutely give up hope. I've been there before. I've been in the dark. I've been in the trenches. And I tell you, once that light starts to shine and you're able to find some new nourishment for your heart, for your soul, then things start to change and you start to grow. And then you're able to see that hope on your own. It's just that you've got blinders on for the moment. And that's okay. It's okay to be there, because there's always something new and better that's coming here, because that's why we were created, was to find all the good stuff. And you can call it, the divine or spirit, or just like you said, I want people to know that unconditional love starts within you.
Yes.
That accepting yourself and owning yourself, owning what you want out of this world, is the greatest freedom there is.
Thank you for being such a beautiful friend. And I want to thank our viewers for watching P3 Power, Passion, Purpose. If you haven't already liked and followed Rise Above TV, then you want to get on board. We're all about empowering humanity and supporting unity. It's about creating a mindfulness movement and really learning how we can learn from one another and help one another grow into better human beings so that we can all create a more beautiful world. So thank you again, Laura Wall. You guys, next week, we will have Luis E. Cavazos, author and empowerment coach. He just released an amazing book called Emotional Beauty. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he describes his power, passion, purpose. See you guys next time. Peace be in us.